This is day 1 of 2 weeks of ice baths for 2 minutes.
So yeah, I did ice baths for 2 weeks and the results surprised me. If you don't know, ice baths are really popular now amongst athletes and fitness influencers due to their many health benefits. As for me, ice baths really opened my eyes in a good way. I can see myself become addicted to taking ice baths regularly, actually. Now, why would I consider taking daily ice baths? And what have I learned from my 2-week experience? Well, in today's video, I'll jump into my experience and explain everything I learned from taking ice baths for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, this one's cold.
If you guys like the videos that you guys are watching, please drop a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. It would help me out. I'm talking so fast right now because I'm like so cold, but yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Now, even before I jumped in my first ever ice bath all the way to my last ice bath, there was one thing that remained consistent. I didn't want to do it. The idea of getting in a freezing tub while outside in the coldest time of the year sounds crazy to me, and it should sound crazy to anybody. But I'm committed to this challenge, so I just did it anyways. When I got into the first ice bath, I had no idea what I was getting into. But as soon as I got in, I felt the cold rush through my entire body. This is because I triggered my fight or flight response. Your body goes into panic mode as soon as you submerge. The cold temperature tells your body that you're going to die. So you start breathing heavily, and not only that, but your blood pressure jumps up. As you begin to calm down, you realize that you don't really have much feeling in your fingers or toes. Now, this may seem insignificant, but it makes sense. Your body's in shock, and it wants to preserve your body heat for as long as possible. In response, your body directs all blood flow to the vital organs. This leaves your fingers and toes to be the first parts of your body that loses all blood flow. This is scary because over time, and with zero endurance to the cold, you can actually get frostbite, which means you might lose a finger or toe. Now, if you can imagine, this cold response was really shocking to me. I had a lot of trouble breathing, and I couldn't feel my fingers or toes. Yeah, I really wasn't having fun. The crazy thing is, on day 3, I realized a combination of the cold air and the ice bath made 2 minutes feel like forever. I began to grow worry of it being way too unsafe, actually. And I would rather be safe than sorry, so instead of doing 2 minutes, I cut it down to 1 minute and 30 seconds. And if you want to know how cold it was outside, it was on average 26 degrees between all 14 days. The ice bath itself was 8 degrees Celsius. It was freezing. I personally thought that the ice baths would get better with time, but every single day going into it, I caught myself not wanting to do it at the beginning every single time. I dreaded it. I can imagine though, if I did ice baths for over a month, I would actually be able to tolerate it. Because over time, the harder things get easier, and this is no exception. Your body becomes accustomed and more tolerant to the cold the more you do it. Well, at this point of the video, you might be thinking that ice baths have zero benefits and getting in them is like a death trap. Well, that is 100% not true. Actually, the benefits afterwards completely outweigh the entire experience, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and list the benefits real quick for you. Boost in energy. Every time I got out of the ice bath, I felt like I could run through a wall. I'm not kidding. It's a way better feeling than being on caffeine, I will say that. And you honestly feel like you're on top of the world. Builds immunity. Science has shown that cold exposure flushes out the system. On days 8 through 11, actually, I was sick. But every time I got into the ice bath, it felt like it flushed out my entire system, and I was ready to go for the rest of the day. Also, as a side note, if you are going to do these, I would not recommend putting your head fully underwater, especially if it's super cold outside, mainly because having a cold wet head in the cold actually makes you super sick. It's like a head sick. I don't know how to really explain it, but my mom for the longest time, before we would go to school, would always tell us to make sure that our heads are completely dry out in the cold, because you actually do get sick from it. So you can do ice baths, just make sure that you're a lot smarter than me. Muscle recovery. If you feel sore or maybe you pulled a muscle, try ice baths. They really do numb the pain. Also remember that cold plunges helps increase blood flow in your body, which has a direct correlation to recovery. So you will feel much better after an ice bath.
helps with mental health. Yep, you heard that right. I am no stranger to mental health struggles, and doing this challenge gave me so much confidence. Not only that, but a lot of mind clarity as well. Every time I got out of one, I felt like whatever stress I had that day was lifted. Ice baths actually activate a part of your nervous system where it actually makes you calm and not stressed in a very dire situation because your body thinks you're gonna die. I also personally do find ice baths to be very therapeutic. I mean, it's a great way to deal with stress. Finally, and most importantly, these build mental toughness. There is no science behind this one. If you can do these every day, then you are obviously very well disciplined. Going out of your way every day to jump into the cold is hard. Yet, there seems to be a ton of benefits. So if you are willing to do them, then they will most certainly change your life. Now, as I reflect on my short-lived Iceman experience, I realized that I should probably add this to my routine more often. The benefits completely outweigh the negatives. And I haven't been in an ice bath as of this recording in a week. But that will begin to change. You don't have to do specifically ice baths, but go out there and do something challenging. Do that one thing that will make you uncomfortable. Try it consistently and see how you feel afterwards. I bet you'll actually feel a lot more better about yourself, but that's just a guess. You will likely notice a lot of benefits to whatever you do as well. Because I just laid out the benefits of one super uncomfortable thing to do. That doesn't mean that there's no benefits to more uncomfortable things to do as well. So go out there and push your limits. Because we only have one life to live. And don't let that go to waste. You are better than to let your mind defeat you. Watch this video next if you need the motivation to get your mind right.